bandwidth, so I'm going to try to speak somewhat rapidly, but it's only just because of the bandwidth. And I want to tie in this number series. So then, obviously, as you see this series, that it's going to have a certain certain distastefulness by the numbers that I put in the title and what they represent or would maybe be associated with, or some people could even say are a form of influence. But I just wanted to actually speak intelligently a little bit about numbers and where I'm coming from in this video, and also explaining my appreciation, some of my appreciation of numbers, how numbers can be thought to exist, uh, recognized to have maybe come to be appreciated as they're currently appreciated, how they can be somewhat detrimental in a lot of senses, and then also how that can have anything to do with what's considered, what the type of weight that those numbers have when I put it in the video like that. What does that actually mean? How can that actually be as daunting as that would appear? But I wanted to speak a little bit about that. But I'm going to try to go quick. But all I meant to say is that my understanding is that when we have our numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, the majority of the mathematical functions that we have, and then the way that we use numbers in modern society in Western terms, is a function of those 10 numbers like that. The 1 through the 0, 1, maybe that's actually 11. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's actually 11. So there's actually 11 numbers in the 10 digit system if you count 0. But that's based. I picked up in a book called Algebra for Dummies, older version. I think that one was written by a brilliant author named Mark Zigarelli or something like that. And he used a lot of humor in that, and he's brilliant for that, because anything you're into in life, if you can appreciate it and come at it with humor, you had to come through some experience and seasoning to engage anything intelligently, and also combine humor with that, and actually appreciate the humor as being more valuable and enlightening than the subject matter. That was his tone, and I think that's all of our tone when we live and cry enough, is that actually the humor is more valuable than the subject matter. But that in there, he points out that what we have for the 1 through 10 like that is based on something called the Hindu Arabic numeral system, and that's actually because it's understood because we have 10 digits, and that was the basic units that they were working with. So one could say that we've always had those on our hands. We've always had numbers on our hands. And I said in another video that the oldest profession has been called the oldest profession, but there's not too many, if any, professions that exist without some kind of satellite or support profession that is invoked by that profession. So we can say we've always had at least the oldest profession, and at least maybe another one, if not probably 2, because you really need to have 3 to be dynamic enough to have like a profession, and then someone to frequent that profession or patronize that profession. So we can say we've always had maybe cops, robbers in the oldest profession, and somewhere between them they had enough to have like a profession of some kind, and then the actual the value to patronize something and receive value for that. I'm not trying to be facetious about what those can entail, but just that you had to have some kind of patronage for the oldest professions, and also a support of other professions to have a profession. So we've always had at least we always had something to protect, something to take away, and then something between those different types to spend what they have on. So that's a little bit. I don't mean to say that distastefully, but it has been said that there's the oldest profession, and then I would say as long as the oldest profession has existed, there must have always been cops and robbers. But I think that there was no employer without some type of number running, because numbers are the smoothest way to get over on people, and so therefore to create profit, therefore to have purchasing power, therefore to subsidize employment activities. So I would say the oldest employer or boss person would be a numbers person, and they've at least had 10 digits on their fingers. So we can say they've been working numbers in some way, and it's appreciated that the older the Hindu Arabic system is based on the number 10. And then I also want to point out, it's pointed out in that book, that basic algebra book, that might be the most valuable book in terms of mathematics, or maybe the only necessary book in terms of mathematics, if you can appreciate what's stated in that book, the Hindu Arabic system. But also, Mark Zarelli points out that there are actually only 4 all of what we appreciate of mathematics is there's only 4 functions within that, and there's only 2 functions within those 4, and there's really only 1 function within the 2. And then the broader, more sophisticated points of mathematics you could probably extrapolate are when you start to exist within like functions, at least in our Western mathematics. And so your stuff like algorithms, I'm not versed on that, but my understanding is that algorithms are also based on the property of 10. And then a function of 10 is like multiples of 10, and what the different sophisticated symmetry that's caused by that. And then also when you get into things like calculus, that's actually, you're going in between what's considered existent, what I've derived, I've extrapolated might be a function of the most fundamental, subtle, and broad property that can be experienced, recognized to experience, to exist, being Bindu. And then within that you have pure concept, which mathematics is a form of pure concept. But what is pure concept and what is mathematics? Mathematics is symmetry. That would be to appreciate all the different things that Bindu can do and cannot do and cannot do. The symmetry within that would be the concept. So you have the existent is like the Bindu, the corpuscle, the atom, the quanta, the fundamental dynamic and stable property that fashions existence. And then you have the symmetry within that, which is the concept. So you could say the concept doesn't entirely exist because there wouldn't be anything to conceptualize anything without there being a Bindu. But then even within all of these sublime dimensions that can be fathomed or conceived with the support and inspiration of Bindu, you have pure concept. But in the purest sense, concept can be appreciated as mathematics, and mathematics can be appreciated as function. That is symmetry within the properties of 1 through 10. The most confounding part of that would be the difference between prime numbers and whole numbers. Whole integers and prime integers is profound. Then you get into like negative value or representations of zero, and that's similar to the type of way I was talking in the first video when I'm saying maybe 1 and 1 can be 2, and 1 and 1 can there also equally be 1 if you look at that word verbatim, that expression verbatim, because math, you have symmetry and expression. So by extrapolating the expression and also the symmetry, and the symmetry within the expression and the expression within the symmetry, you get all the dynamic, sophisticated appreciation of concept and symmetry that may be conceived by a human being. So you have but within that you have maybe the unit, the subunit, 0, 1. Somewhere in there you get prime and whole, which a lot of people couldn't explain how that might be possible, and what completely segregates those two and their functions. And then also you have the experience of not existing. That's part of calculus, as I understand. What is it to not exist, and what can be conceived by being able to conceive past what actually is appreciated as existing. Somewhere in between that, you get more sophisticated symmetry that are functions of calculus, and you're actually going between what it is to exist and not exist, similar to go, not go, kind of going, and a little bit going, and going less, and going, go, and not go, and go, and go. We're experiencing in a digital frontier of ones and zeros, but maybe one had been the only existent, if anything. And then so you have Bindu, existence and silence, existence and silence, existence and silence, and you have the perception and experience of existing, where maybe neither you nor Bindu nor not existing truly existed. When you're talking like that and thinking like that, you're along the lines of calculus in the higher orders of mathematics, as I understand. But yet that's still a function of symmetry in the first place. The symmetry from the properties of having 10 digits like that, and then also the functions of mathematics. So you have attraction, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Yet division is a form of multiplication, and subtraction is a form of addition, and they're just really it's just a forward and reverse motion of the same thing. And so then so that you could thereby say that division and multiplication are another higher order of attraction and addition, and attraction and addition are a higher order of symmetry in the first place. And then you're functioning, your multiples of 10s, and 10 times 10 to the 10 in this algorithm times 3, and so 3 would be